Welcome inside our San Francisco studios. I'm Mike Yam, and I am joined by the head of Pac-12 Officiating, David Coleman. We call it official business. And David, it is always great having you on our set with us. Previous weeks, we go through a vast array of some of the things that you and your team have to go through in terms of those plays every single week. We've highlighted player safety and targeting in the past. What's the theme of official business today?
Today's theme is Rule 7, snapping and passing the ball. Which
seems pretty, straightforward.
There's a lot of interesting things that can happen, as we'll see.
Yes. We will start with our first play here. We'll head to Pullman right now. Peyton Bender looking for Gabe Marks. Offensive pass interference is called here. What's happening?
Yes. We have offensive pass interference, but you can see the official waving his hand over his head, the covering official, the side judge. That's because the pass is uncatchable. It was not possible to be caught, and that takes off the offensive pass interference. So there's no foul. He goes and talks to the back judge who made the call, and then they take the information to the referee, and you see the referee make the announcement with that same over-the-head signal. Yeah. No OPI.
And we like this when the officials get together. This is not the first time this season we've highlighted that communication that's taking place.
And that's one of our overall focus matters is communication, and this is an excellent example of that.
All right, this one had everyone in our Adidas touchdown room going, what happened here? Cody Kessler, an illegal forward pass. Why?
Well, you notice he handed the ball off and then got the ball back. Okay, so even though he was out of the pocket, he threw the pass, it got past the line of scrimmage, past the neutral zone, the fact that he had given the ball up and got it back makes it an illegal pass. So that's intentional grounding. He has to maintain possession of that ball throughout the play after having received the snap.
So once he hands the ball off to Ronald Jones and Jones turns around, flips it back to him and hits the ground, and that act means nothing.
No, it doesn't. It's backward pass, that's okay.
It's totally cool. It's just the fact that he gave the ball up and gets back to him, and that's where the issue lies for the quarterback.
The spirit and the intent of that rule is that the player receiving the snap is the one who's going to make the pass, and therefore gets the protection under that rule.
Some of the intricacies of the game, and I think this is a good focal point on our next play, watching what's happening in the trenches. Take me through this one with UW and Oregon State.
What's happening here is that the Oregon State defense is doing what we call stemming. You see that side-to-side move, and the one player, number 90, calls some signals in an attempt to get the offense to move and false start. That's a foul. They can move back and forth as long as there are no abrupt movements towards the line of scrimmage, or no moving their arm or moving their shoulders towards the line to cause the offense to move. And that disconcerting signal call, that calling the signals, is a foul. And that's what the umpire picked up.
How difficult is it to see moments like this? Because we've heard a lot of coaches and players talk about what's happening on defense when their offense is out there. And yet on this particular play, we saw Robbins get called for it.
Yes. Well, it happens. You see that movement a lot, and as long as they don't do those things I described, and he called signals that were like what the offense was calling, and that's a foul. They can't do that because it's the offense's right to be able to snap the ball cleanly, and not the defense's opportunity to make them have problems with that by calling signals.
Well, David, it is always good to get a recap of everything that we're watching when we're watching these games on TV and in our Adidas touchdown room, trying to figure out what's happening. The Cody Kessler one, I'm glad you brought that one to the table. I'm in a room with former players and coaches. They're going, what happened on this play? So it is nice to get some clarity on that. Thank you, as always, for stopping by.
You're welcome. Great to be here, Mike.